Hi dear audience, and welcome to Reader's channel, where considering the delicacy of the treated topics, I invite you to subscribe, like while sharing my videos. Today the topic I'm going to talk about is the poverty is a choice or an accident, but the next not to be missed video channel will talk about Islam and development. So let's get to the heart of today's topic. Poverty is a choice or an accident. First of all, by poverty, what do we have to understand? Poverty, absolute one, is measured with reference to the cost of a basket or minimum basic goods and services, for instance food. Populations or households that live below the food poverty line are considered to be in absolute and extreme poverty. Also, it's qualified as severe poverty or chronic poverty. Here, regarding the confirmation that poverty is an accident, Nelson Mandela disagrees against this in his following point of view. According to him, like slavery and apartheid, it is man-made and can be removed by the actions of human beings. In general, once the poverty is experienced in a given country, it's easy for a significant part of public opinion to agree that it is the leaders who make the free choice of policies which leads to poverty. The opinion agrees that it is not resources and solutions that are lacking, but rather will and courage. Here, let's be rational and non-emotional and ask ourselves this relevant question: is public opinion well equipped to deeply understand the complex geopolitical difficulties that poor countries endure? I don't think so. Okay, let's focus on things which are very easy to understand. Poverty, which implies suffering from hunger, lack of shelter, lack of access to education, and the means to seek treatment in the event of illness, etc. Here, it is understood that being poor is very expensive for the victims and for society, which suffers various consequences, mainly the related crimes and the unrealized development potential, which amplifies underdevelopment. The habit often adopted by the poor is to blame governments or blame those closest to them, as if they are the only ones responsible for the financial difficulties they endure, and at the same time that it is their governments and their loved ones who need to worry more about their relief. Of course, while some of the poor adopt the law of least effort, instead of relying on others, count on yourself. Understand very well that there is no one who should be more concerned about your future if not yourself. Work on yourself knowingly and don't rely on your loved ones or your government. Your government and your loved ones are not controllable variables, but your actions are controllable. Reason why working on yourself to free yourself from poverty is essential for gaining momentum towards a serious fight against poverty. Convince yourself that poverty is not an inevitable destiny, but rather than poverty is the result of choice in terms of resource management and the wealth preservation. Equip yourself with judicious strategies and commit to change, hoping to create a brighter future for you and those around you, being free from poverty. Through the process of reasoning that I have chosen for you, I hope that you will perfect yourself in your daily life and change the direction of your life from poverty to wealth, because you dare to take responsibility for your fare, which is right and fruitful daily. Let's start from the following postulate. He who consumes more than he produces becomes poorer, and he who produces more than he consumes becomes richer. The postulate is constituted by two assertions. First assertion is he who consumes more he produces becomes poorer. What does that mean? This means that your total income is less than the sum of your expenses, which implies a deficit budget, and you get into debt. This implies a dangerous situation, because each time you record a deficit due to consumption and not to production, you become more and more impoverished. Second assertion is he who produces more than he consumes becomes richer. This means that the total of your income is more than the sum of your expenses. The budget is in surplus, and you generate savings that you invest. The situation here is promising. The more savings there are, the richer you become. I draw your attention by emphasizing the said postulate that you must always remember every time you have to make a purchase or sale transaction. So you act in such a way that you do not impoverish yourself but enrich yourself. From the beginning, we had the question of knowing whether poverty is a choice or an accident. We have talked enough, and it falls to me to cite these good management strategies to prevent poverty from being a choice or an accident for you. The strategies are these. A. For preventing poverty from being your choice, increase your income and reduce your consumer spending. Here you have to think about all the legal proceedings to increase your income and reduce your consumer spending. Not reducing consumer spending means getting poorer and enriching others. Instead of taking the time to identify non-essential consumer spending, you focus on blaming your government and your neighboring that you are rushing to enrich with your lavish spending that you can omit to save the money to invest. Let me be thorough and identify with you some intolerable expenses, bearing to say that you cannot save to invest in order to free yourself from the exploitation that you often sing about while you consume drinks in a significant way is unreasonable. Let me give you this information. On average per year, a French household spends €476 on non-alcoholic drinks and €707 on alcoholic drinks. Wines, ciders, and champagnes have a higher weight in spending on alcoholic beverages in certain wine production regions. Relying on that report from February 28, 2020, you understand that there are those who spend thousands of euros on drinks, which often destroy their health, while they are unable to invest due to lack of savings. For you, what is it about? Here I do not avoid saying purchasing fashionable and excessive clothes, buying cars without properly calculating, renting luxurious apartments, envying and paying for cherished moments of leisure, etc., when you cannot afford a better school for your children. It's shameful and stupid. I call you for change and development. B. For preventing poverty from being an accident for you, be just and honest to be blessed and avoid fines. Use reliable insurance companies for your property. Perhaps depending on certain constraints, you do not have access to insurance services. Take the example of the people of this community and take inspiration from them. When there are incidents of theft, fire, or other disasters that occur, or members of the community correct the means in favor of the victim. However, the means corrected must be at least equal to the loss suffered. In conclusion, I call you for not blaming anyone, doing your best, and God will do His work, while reminding you that the next video will talk about Islam and development. I thank you for watching the video until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like my videos while sharing them. See you.